Good evening. Hello, hello, hello. Hello. Happy 2 years! Happy 2 years! Hello, 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 hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome. Good to see you. Good. Hello, Mina. Good to see you. Hello, Nat. Good to see you. And hello, Saber Sunset. And hello, everyone else who is watching. If you are lurking or anything, hello, Blatty. Welcome, welcome. Good to see you. Happy Easter indeed. Net redeem drink. Let me think, you know, I will drink to that. Anyway. Hello, people. I don't even know how to start this stream. I'm so sorry. I feel so, like, out of it. Yeah, I'm still sick. Hello. I don't really know what to talk about. Well, as you can tell by the title, today is a very different stream to our normal viewing experience. In the we usually stream on a Thursday or a Monday, and today is a Sunday. So, Jasper, why are we streaming today? Well, if you couldn't tell by the title, today is our 2-year stream-versary. No, it is not our affiliate-versary. It is not anything like that. It is not since we debuted. It is the 2 years since I, JasperWackx, first came onto the platform and started doing my silly little streams. So, it's sort of so insane to me. Bruh, I will do other people. God damn it. What was I saying? Yeah, so 2 years ago, I pressed start streaming on my OBS program for the first time ever. And this was a build up for, I want to say, a good 5 years at the time. So 2 years ago was 2020, means about 5-6 years. I decided I wanted to start streaming. I put it off for a long time, and then obviously 2020 happened and the VTube sort of took off. I didn't find out about it, like, much of the West until sort of 2022, 2023. And at that point, I wasn't sure if I wanted to. Well, congrats on 2 years of streaming. Thank you very much. Congrats on 2 years. Thank you. I originally, when I first started streaming, you guys know the story. When I first started thinking about it, I was like, I want to do it, but I don't know about showing my face. I wasn't too I put off streaming a lot because I was like, it's gonna be a hell of a commitment to, like, put makeup on every day. CC Cleaner is fucking installing. It's taking over my fucking desktop. Oh, please go away. I cannot see. Oh, go away. Right, sorry. It just had to pop up on my screen. That was really aggressive. I'm sorry. Yeah, what was I saying? So, yeah, I was a bit reluctant to start streaming because obviously I was like, it's gonna be a commitment to put makeup on every time, and after a while I have to be okay with just my base. I couldn't work out a good time. I wasn't sure. I didn't know what to play, and I was really worried that people wouldn't be okay with my face. And there were a lot of things that really put me off stream. And I don't really know what sort of started it. Oh, I know what started it. So I first started watching Sea Dog VA, as many of you know, and that led to obviously the introduction of Iron Mouse to my life, as many people iMouse was the inspiration to start VTubing because iMouse then. The unfortunate elephant in the room that was VShojo, and seeing all those streamers and watching all those streamers brought a wide audience into my vision, and from that I was like, I want to start streaming, and I started looking into VTubing. And one of the big things that everyone always says when you start VTubing is like, it costs a lot of money to start, right? Streaming is one of those things where people are like, it doesn't have to cost anything, and it doesn't. But if it's not going to cost anything for you, you kind of need to be okay with either not showing any kind of avatar on screen, whether it's your face or a pixel image of yourself, whatever, or you have to be willing to show your face. I was not ready to do that, but VTubing opened up that gateway, but it was going to cost me money. Fortunately, I decided that I could save some of that money by designing the character myself, so that's what I did. So I think around February of 2023, I set out conceptualizing my original VTuber model, which I think some of you will know was originally a werewolf. That was the original concept for JasperWackx, and yeah, it was a concept that I kept many sort of design elements. Obviously, multiple ears was a big design element for me. But at the time as well, a little bit before I started sort of conceptualizing this, I was into sort of character creation from Dungeons and Dragons. And I got really into playing Dungeons and Dragons, and I made a character at the time. I think her name, I can't even remember her name, but it was my first ever and the only Dungeons and Dragons character I've ever actually used. And one of the design elements I had for her was like green tunic. It was very much like a very similar design to what you see on street. Had like multicolored hair, all that sort of fun stuff, and it also had antlers. And this sort of combined with the original concept of the werewolf eventually kind of made me kind of sit back and go, I'm not happy with this design. And I got as far as like starting to like draw it on a PC. I'd come up with the concept, I designed the concept, I was getting ready to draw it up, and I was like, something's just not hitting right with this. It just didn't look right. And it might have just been the fact that I'm still not very proficient at drawing on a computer, because as many of you know, I have a Wacom tablet, but like a very small, like basic budget one, like many people have. Hi, Just welcome, good to see you, good to see you. I had the basic Wacom tablet, so I was struggling, to say the least. You know, like 2 years of art college had not really not prepared me to draw to this level, and let alone like start the concept of like drawing it up was already hard. Separating it was a daunting task that I was not prepared for. I'd never done anything like it, but I persisted. Welcome, Mimi. Good to see you. Good to see you. I can't hear Tiz as I'm still at work. What are you still doing at work? But I wanted to just pop by and say hi and congrats on 2 years. Well, I know you can't hear this, but if you watch this back, hello, Mimi. Good to see you. It's okay. You work hard. You work hard. Yeah. So, So I drew up the design for the original concept, and if you guys are interested, I'm quite happy to show that on stream today. But yeah, so I originally started drawing up that concept, and I was like, something's just not hitting right. It's not really feeling the JasperWackx aesthetic. And at the time, I wasn't JasperWackx. I wasn't gonna be JasperWackx. I was under a different username. There was a different handle altogether. And I also had just stopped, I think not sure how soon after, but around 2020 to 2021, I'm pretty sure is when we kind of wrapped it up. I was playing the game Among Us on a live stream with my friend, who I will not. Well, I get a bit nervous about talking about that era of my life because the second you guys find out who it is, a couple things could happen. I'm a bit like anxious about those things. For one, obviously the main one is that obviously all the VODs of me on these streams are still available, so you can actually still find them and you can see me like learning to talk very early on a live platform. But then on top of that, it's also that my friend has now become a Twitch partner, and I'm a bit scared to name drop because I'm like, I don't want it to seem like I'm name dropping. Sensei. I am a bit nervous about name dropping my friend because obviously, like, it was a pretty big thing at the time to say that I knew kind of a like somewhat well-known streamer, but then like now I'm like, now I really can't say anything because they recently got partnered, and I'm like, oh god, if I say, then people are gonna be like, if anyone who watches me is in the space that this person is in, you probably already know, but if you were in the space even at the time, like you would be like, really? But that being said, they are linked as like JasperWackx recommends these streamers down below. So yeah, how do I go about this? I just get stressed about it. I get really stressed about it. I get really, really stressed about it. Because something you have to keep in mind as well, I know these people IRL is a thing. And you have to keep in mind that this streamer is also the sibling with the brother to one of my close friends, which is why I ended up on these streams. And I don't stream with them anymore, not for any like bad reasons. There wasn't anything bad that happened. It just sort of fizzled out. People started getting busy. Lots of people didn't have time to sort of dedicate to streams anymore. So what ended up happening was it just sort of ended. Like it was very unceremonious. Just sort of ended. Well, and I really like, sometimes I'm like, oh, wouldn't it be cool if we did like a revitalize of this? But I'm like terrified to like message them and ask and be like, hey, I know it's been like a good 2 years since we spoke last, but would you be interested? Like, I really wouldn't want to do that, especially now I'm streaming, because it would just like, I would feel like it will come off like I'm social climbing, but I'm really not, because this is someone I was friends with before, and I deeply valued our friendship at the time, and I still do, and I hope that they still remember those times with fond memories. And honestly, if I went to visit my friend who I'm still in contact with, the brother, if I go and visit my friend, like there is a chance that I can go and visit this other friend as well. So it's a bit of a wild one. Anyway, I'm getting on a tangent. So story being is that I was on these streams for a while, right? A good year plus of my life. And that sort of gained me the confidence to speak unhingedly on the internet. And as you guys know, I make lots of weird noises. I scream a lot. And these streams were very much like I was constantly doing that. There was constantly weird noises. There was constantly shit going on. And it was a chaotic moment, but some of the best moments of our time there were just being completely unhinged. So I do miss those times a lot. But it was what gave me a lot of confidence in myself that maybe I would be considered entertaining on stream, because something that still haunts me to this day is that I'm like infamous in a way on that channel. Apparently I still get referenced from time to time, which is so funny because like I'm off doing my own streams now, and I don't go into their chat anymore. Because oftentimes I'll like make a reference to like Whack-A-Melon and stuff, which is relevant to the conversation, right? I would make a reference to that, or to watermelons and mayonnaise, which was something I was obsessed with at the time, like unhealthily. Like I would quite happily eat the both of those, and it became like a meme of putting them together, and I'm like, I never did that, but like it became such a meme about me putting watermelon and mayonnaise and stuff like that. But like occasionally when I went on in the past. Like, I think I went on once since I started streaming, and someone in the chat was like, we need to get Wack on board with this. And I was in the chat making these references, and I was like, I'm Wack! And they just didn't realize. So the point being is that it gave me a lot of confidence, and it kind of made me very keen to start doing my own streams and start like using some of that energy that I had in that and those streams for my own streams, because I realized that me being like a gremlin was something that would be entertaining. And so that led towards that kind of confidence boost, and then the introduction of VTubers into my life at a similar time was the push I needed to start streaming. So back to the conceptualizing. So the conceptualizing of the characteristic, I was like, it's not hitting, right? I feel like it was just too generic. It was something that I could easily say had been done hundreds of times. And I mean, if you look at the character art I came up with, it wasn't like something that had been done before, but I worried about, like, because of course it was a werewolf one. At the time, Buff Pup was quite big, and I didn't want it to come off like I was copying them, because no offense to Buff Pup or anything, I don't watch their streams, but I was worried that people would think I was riffing on them, so I decided to start like looking into doing my own thing, and I wanted a character design that would carry me through like several years of streaming, something that wouldn't age badly, kind of thing. And not that a werewolf would age badly, but I wanted it to be something that I could come up with artwork for. Like, I wanted a unique-ish design, and I wanted a unique characteristic. I wanted something that represented the Jasper IRL, which, much as I wanted a werewolf to be, it didn't. I'm far too whimsical and foresty for a werewolf, and like, I used to be in my early years, but I think I was just like I'm getting old, you know. I was like, my life is going to change so much in these next few years of streaming that a werewolf characteristic is not going to fit like me as a person. So I sat on it for a while, and I ultimately decided that I hated it. And I hated the drawing, and I hated the artwork, and it just didn't look good, and I wasn't happy with it. And in the end, I decided to scrap that character, which is a shame, because it's such a nice like characteristic. But another thing with it is, like, it would be a completely different like tone to these streams, right? Because you guys are so used to me being like soft spoken and stuff occasionally, and then to go off like completely like randomly. But like, for example, like the original character like had a completely different color palette, right? It was always going to be like black, green, and maybe a bit of brown. But one of the big things was the hair color was completely different. I was originally ginger with black sort of ombre. That was the original design, and I was like, yeah, it would fit with Halloween, but it wouldn't be something that I could wear year round. So there were a lot of things that went into that sort of character design, and in the end, I was like, I've always like had a fascination with like jackalopes, right? And I was like, maybe jackalope VTuber would be the thing. So I started looking into it, and I was like, oh, this makes me think of like the time that I had like a real special interest in like fantasy characters, like fantasy animals and stuff. And I was like, there is a story with how I came to like be more knowledgeable about Wappletingers, but it involves the HP franchise, and that's not a topic that I think we should get into on stream. But just so you know, it was I was making a fan fiction a long time ago, and one of the things that I wanted to include with the characteristic was that a Wappletinger was something that they were affiliated with. So that was something I looked into at the time, and I became really invested in a Wappletinger. And I would start talking to people about it. I'd be like, oh yeah, like, people think the jackalope's a wild concept, but no one ever talks about a Wappletinger. And people would be like, what the fuck is a Wappletinger? And I'm like, no one knows what a Wappletinger is. And I was like, this is something that like baffled me as a kid. And then I was like looking into these Jackalope characters as an adult, like, yeah, but there's other Jackalope VTubers, and I was like, I wonder how many Wappletinger VTubers there are. And I looked into it, and I think there's like a couple. I don't know how active, like, I don't know how well known they are. I haven't been able to find anything since, but apparently it's like quite common. Like, people know about it, right? Especially people in the um World of Warcraft sort of scene. I think that's the right game, which I have never played. So please, like, I know some people come into my chat thinking like, oh, Wappletinger, like World of Warcraft. Just be very aware, I don't know anything about that, and I have never played World of Warcraft. I'm not saying I never would, but it's not something I played, and that's not where I found out about Wappletinger from. I literally just found out about it through like Jackalope research. Don't ask. But yeah, so it's fun times. um Lovecraftian themes is something I usually implement into my D&D games. Yeah. I loved making D&D characters. Like, it was something that I could go freely about, but obviously with D&D you're kind of limited very much to the races that are part of the like books and stuff. So I would never have been able to like make like I think the term is like a humanoid character. I can't remember. Is it amorphic? Amorphoric. You guys know what I'm on about. Like when it's like a cross between a human and an animal. Anyway. Um Waffle Watting now? Yeah, Wappletinger. Wappletinger. A Wappletinger. It's German. Um keep it that way. The addiction is way too strong. Well, with D&D, I would love to play it again. I think there was something like in the background maybe gonna happen, so stay tuned, I guess. I may have played World of Warcraft for a long time. Oh, World of Warcraft, I see. Furry. Maybe. I have no problem with furries. I'm not a furry. I don't think I could ever afford the hobby of being a furry, but there is something very beautifully creative I find about furries and personas, so no shame. No shame. And yes, Bletty has got it right. Amorphoric. No, it's World of Warcraft. Okay, yeah. Yeah, what was I saying? So D&D wasn't something you could be like anaphoric with, but VTubing was something you could. And I was like, I'm quite prolific with like making like OCs and stuff. That's something that I've always been like quite good at in a way. And they were always based on me. I think many people make OCs based on themselves or based on a version of themselves that they'd like to be. So for me, making a VTuber character was something that I knew would take some time and thought, but it was something that I didn't shy away from, and I knew that I would be able to do. So anthropomorphic, thank you, is how you would pronounce it. Yeah, I do know how to pronounce it. I just can't think right now. My brain is still so scrambled from being ill. Thank you very much for the phonetics. I appreciate it. So with creating, like, while I was like looking into this, I was like, maybe a Wappletinger characteristic would be good, because that kind of embodied all the things I could be with an anthropomorphic character. There you go. I could do that with a Wappletinger, because it was pretty like untapped territory. A lot of the kind of lore that surrounds them is pretty vague. A lot of like listings online say, oh, it's a hare with wings and antlers and saber-like fangs. That was the general consensus I got from it. And then some other sources were like, oh, it's got the body of a squirrel, a head of a hare, and antlers, saber-like fangs, and wings, right? It was like there's a lot of different like versions of it. I didn't go for the squirrel kind of characteristic because I'll be honest, I was pushing it a little bit with the rigging of the wings and the ears as was. And I thought that adding a squirrel tail would actually just tip me over the edge of my budget. So I was like, I don't think that's something I'm going to put into this character. And to be honest, I don't think it would fit with my character now. And I have designed a character sheet of this character, and it does not have it because I think the bunny tail kind of fits better. So you can call that lore accurate, you can call it whatever. I'm not necessarily against like changing the tail in the future, but I have some design ideas in the future, but they're not really relevant now, and they're probably not going to be relevant for a long time, if ever. So there might be stuff, but you'll have to wait and see. Brain is off me too. Yeah, I'm so ill, dude. To be honest, it's potentially COVID, and I need to say that very carefully because Twitch might come down on me hard about it, but it's been going around recently in my area, and there is a chance it's that, there is a chance it's not. I haven't like done anything for it. I've just kind of avoided contact with people. So yeah. Stay safe, people. Look after yourselves. I got it recently, knocked my ass for 2 days. It's been 2 weeks at this point for me, so I'm feeling you. I'm feeling. So yeah, so with a Wobbletinger, I could be as creatively like open as I wanted, and I roughed out a concept for a Wobbletinger, and I really liked it. And then I had to simplify it, which sucked. I had like, I think if I had to like, because I've got the original concept here somewhere, but like the original concept is not in that sketchbook. Which sketchbook is it in? Is it in that one? I will take a look. I keep all my sketchbooks next to me. The original, I think it is, the original concept of the Wobbletinger, I think the only thing that it is different is I think the necklace ended up going through several different revisions. I wanted the necklace piece to be very like, it's got hidden meaning, it's lore, there is lore in there. Oh my god, I just found the original concept for the original one, the werewolf one. That makes me so sad. But yeah, so the whole like design kind of went through like a couple revisions, but not too many. I think I've got it right in front of me now. The original concept had like what you see like right now is like a dress with like some sleeves, right? Originally it was supposed to be like a shawl type situation, like a crop jumper that was tied around the middle and like had bell sleeves, because I love a bell sleeve. She's a slag for a bell sleeve. And I really, really wish I could have kept those bell sleeves. The problem was, and another thing I'll get into is like the hair as well. The hair was supposed to be different. It was originally supposed to be like, it is supposed to be curtain bangs, but originally that like middle chunk of hair, that wasn't there originally. The problem is there wasn't much information online about how to rig something with like part of the roots of the head showing. So I scrapped it and I had to put this middle bit in to make it more anime centric, but I have super strong immune system though. I'm lucky in that regard. Good for you, man. So originally the sweeping curtain bangs were supposed to be representative of like what my hair type was at the time. So at the time I designed the character, I was planning to go with this hair color, but I hadn't yet got it. I don't know what I had originally. I think it was just red, but I went to this color shortly after like debuting this model, and it was great. And I had it for like several months, and I will go back to it at some point because it is definitely one of my favorites. However, I don't have the curtain bangs anymore. I've gone back to my emo roots, and I've got a chunky cut side sweep again now because your girl is An older emo at heart. The scene queen at heart. So yeah, like the design change, and I that was something that I did want as well. I wanted a scene haircut for my model originally, but again, it kind of came down to the like I didn't know how to draw it and I didn't know how to cut it. So there were earlier concepts where I like tempted the idea, but I didn't go for it in the end. Another thing that didn't happen in the original concept that I'm looking at now is actually there wasn't any green, which is really like shocking to me. I know that because the original concept of the shawl doesn't have any color on it because I planned for it to be like a lime green, and I just don't think I had a coloring pencil in that color. I wanted it to be like a sage green. Hello, Red Satan. Welcome, welcome. Good to see you. Hello, Jasper. Happy 2 years. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Happy 2 years. Happy 2 years. So the original concept originally just didn't have any like green accents to it at all. Like, I don't know why. I don't actually know why. And I remember distinctly once I like drew up the concept looking at this and going off the colors and being like, why the fuck is it so brown? And that did not change. We're still very brown and I don't know why. And I'm really sorry because the color palette is not supposed to be brown. It was supposed to mainly be black and green. Unfortunately, the brown ended up taking over. In future designs, once I like maybe see about getting like a 2.0 model. I'm not saying that in a it's not happening anytime soon, people. Please don't like get like excited like is this Jasper saying that she might be getting a 2.0 model? No, I'm sorry. We've still got a few more years of use out of this model, I'm afraid. I haven't like even like I will design it at some point, and there will be a 2.0 model at some point in my streaming career. That's a dream, but at this point in my career, if you want to call it that, there is no plans for a 2.0 model currently. But yeah, I remember looking at this design and being like, why the fuck is there so much brown? Another thing is like the white accents were originally yellow. I don't know why. I think it's just because I knew that bleaching my hair would not go this color. It did go this color. It was weird. But yeah, originally it was like a yellowy blonde rather than like a white. Oh my fucking god, Scream Jasper coming to VR. That's something that I will talk about briefly now, she says, having never talked briefly in her life. Last year, some of you guys will remember this, but last year, so last Stream-versary, one of the things that I had to unfortunately let people down about is that my big reveal plan was that our Stream-versary was going to happen and I was going to reveal that we had a 3D model, and it didn't happen because there were a lot of contributing factors. I just couldn't find an artist that I liked, and the one I eventually did contact it just was going to cost too much money. There was a whole like host of reasons why it just ended up not happening. And I said at the time, like, February we'll look into doing it, and then life sort of took a fucking nosedive for me that February. So unfortunately, we didn't get the 3.0 model. So yeah, a 3D model. Yeah, we never ended up getting the 3D model, and we still don't have the 3D model. I have toyed with it again recently. VGen has also been something that's become available now, so there is a little bit of a potential for that. I just need to find someone. I have plans, but that's why there's a character sheet now, because I designed that character sheet to send off to someone to get a 3D model made, but it just ended up not happening, which is unfortunate. And in all honesty, budget is extremely tight at the minute, so realistically a 3D model might happen at some point. It just won't happen. Like, it won't happen for this year, I'm afraid. I'm really sorry about that, because I feel like I'm letting people down. I feel like I've not prepared anything for today either. I had plans. I'm going to spoil those plans because they'll still happen, and they'll happen at some point in the next in the next month, right? I can promise you that, okay? So one of the things that we do every year is that, and this will be a yearly tradition, is that I will do like a year in clips review. That will happen. It just hasn't been uploaded because I didn't upload it on the day of last year either. Another thing is that I need like this to be done to do that clips thing, whole thing. Another thing is I got sick. I'm trying not to beat myself up. I don't know if you guys can tell. I'm really upset about it because I had plans for this stream and then I got sick recently and my brain has literally just been in survival mode at the minute. So realistically, like, I had plans and I'm not talking very well, but I had plans. Those plans will still happen. I don't know when, but it will be in the next couple months. And I can promise you that, and I will hold myself to that. But one of the things is obviously like a year in review. That will happen, same as last year. Another thing that we will get is we will get a new emote. That will happen. That was a plan. It will happen. I'm not going to go into more detail about it, but there was supposed to be another emote for today. I just haven't dealt with it. Same artist though, Spirelli. I will contact them again and get that done. But there will be another emo eventually. She's also got to decide which one she wants. Okay, Jasper, we get it. We will get it when we get it. Yeah. I'm not like, I'm upset with myself, and I was kicking myself about it the other day. But like, I literally have not recovered at all from being ill. And Friday was not a good day. So she's been a bit rough around the edges. But we will get these things, so don't think I haven't forgotten. I have fully, these things in plan. It's life sort of going the way, and that's fine. But we will have a new emote coming at some point. Might not be the only one. So yeah. What was I saying? I don't remember. I was talking about the like progression into this model, wasn't I? So the original design, I drew it and then I was like, I like that. I fucking like that. The next day I drew up a bigger version of it, which was gonna be my template. Did that. Took me about like a day, maybe two. Uploaded it onto my drawing program of choice that I will not mention because I think I've talked about it before. There's a reason why I don't talk about it. I uploaded it to my drawing program of choice, and I traced over it, or I traced over one side of it, because you have to, when you do a VTuber model, you have to make it like completely parallel for the most part, and so I just did a mirror thing and I just drew it up, and it took me the best part of maybe 6 weeks to 6 months. I can't remember the exact time frame. I think it was 6 weeks to get this done. And I did it, and I worked like constantly at it. And I was in the middle of a pretty like big part of my life. Like lots of stuff was happening, but any free time I got went to making this model. And eventually I was getting to that point where I was like, it's almost done. And I remember that feeling of being like, there isn't much more I can do to this. And then finally, I cut it up, layered it. I reached out to the artist I'd chosen to rig it, who unfortunately isn't producing any work anymore. And I got it rigged. And then I, at this point, was streaming. So this was 2 years ago. But I think this stream on this day was pretty uneventful. I think I got like 1 follower from it, which was really nice. And then the next stream that I did, the following stream, was insane. Like I played Fears to Fathom, right? Big part of my channel, that game. Played Fears to Fathom, and I got raided. And then that kind of, and someone came into my chat and started chatting to me. It was a whole thing, and that stream literally was the moment I went, this is my this is my calling. I'm doing it. And I did it, and I sent off my files to be rigged. I paid for it, and then a couple weeks later, we were debuted as the full embodiment of JasperWackx. So I won't have a stream-versary for the debut because I don't see the point, because it literally happened 2 weeks after I started streaming, but here we are. What you see is what you get 2 years down the road. Crazy. I mean, I had I had goals, and those goals are still valid now. Now that I'm later on down the road, I'm those goals are still my goals. One of the big ones obviously being that I would love one day to be able to go to a TwitchCon and, be there as me, JasperWackx, not IRL me, but be there and do meet and greets and stuff. That would be the ultimate dream. Is that something I'm likely to achieve? Unlikely. Is it something that I will forever strive for? Of course. Another thing, I think at the time, 1 year ago, I was I have to get affiliate within the year for me to keep streaming. I smashed that goal. Cheers to Mina for that. Without Mina, I never would have, reached that goal. But I made it to affiliate, and within the year, and then I think this time last year, I was oh man, what was it? I was saying something. I got to this time last year, and I was yeah, I wanted to get to 100 followers, and I was damn, we got really close though. And I remember distinctly saying that, one of my goals was reach 100 followers, and I didn't manage that in the year, but damn, did we get close. 2 years down the line, we're at 158, I think. I can't remember. I haven't checked today, but we're doing pretty good, which is very nice. And I still can't, kind of get over the fact that there's 150 of you, willing to watch me, which is super nice. Thank you very much for that. I mean, I just don't really, people show up. You guys are all here in my chat, and that's a crazy feeling, you know? I don't know how to contextualize how that feels, but it feels good. Thanks, guys. Sounds like I'm crying, but I'm not. I'm just really ill. But thank you very much for being here for the last 2 years. I show up when I can. No, I appreciate whenever people show up. Literally, guys, if I recognize people's names in chat, okay? So, it's I know when you're here, and I know when you're not, and it's okay. Okay. And I hope that I can do that for as long as possible. And I'm just, really grateful. Because without, I can't sit here and talk about streaming and my community without talking about, my friendship group as well. Mina, Lara, T, Maddie, Mimi, all of you guys, my broskies, you know? I would consider them all friends IRL. 110%, right? If I think about getting married to Paul, right? And I do. They're the first people I think about inviting. Sorry to my family. Afraid they come before that. This the first people I think about inviting to something like my wedding, and I think that's kind of a good example about. It's a good sort of example of how I view our friendship. And I know that's something that is a bit contentious in streaming and VTubing is when you collab with people that technically your coworkers, right? But I've never looked at any of them like my coworkers. I'm not really able to do that. Like I struggle with it at work as well. It's really really big problem. But and it's a problem I've had a long time is that I can't like I can't look at people as if I talk to you regularly, I think of you as my friend, you know? So all of you in chat that I talk to in the Discord and in chats, you're my friends. But like I think I thought that I was closer with all of them than maybe I was at the time, but because I was so like blissfully like in this mindset, we've all become really, really close friends, which is wonderful. But I straight out sometimes sit back and think like, huh, maybe they weren't so into the friendship as I was, but you know, I'm pleased to say that they are into it as much as I am now, or at least I think so. So that's nice. But I think that's really special is that, you know, I can go to those girls for and T obviously for anything outside of streaming and inside of streaming, like any day of the week. And I know that they know they can come to me. And we do. We rely on each other. We talk to each other like all the time. So yeah. I don't really know what to say. This is like I'm trying to like think about what to say, but like I'm literally like almost an hour into streaming already. This isn't gonna be a long stream, by the way. We're not gonna get like a good 3 hours of content out of this or anything. We might get an hour and a half, but yeah. We're about gonna get my ass handed to me by my doppelganger and Ninja Gaiden for good luck. Even when you are sick as shit, you end up being cute. Thank you. I know I am a wee fry, but do not invite me to a wedding. I was on to, and that was enough for me. Lol. Yeah, no, I literally like. I think about like big events in my life, and it's like I wouldn't be able to do it without streaming. Like, I know that moving house was a really stressful time for me, and I know that streaming sort of ended up taking a back burner to that event. You guys know I was dealing with a lot of the time. Like my friendship group had just fallen apart. My like household situation was changing. You know, my life was taking a big step in terms of like becoming an adult, and you know, I was moving in with someone that I'd been dating for like a year, right? No problem, no shade to pull or anything. We fought like cat and dog during that time. I think that that's okay to admit, and I think it's realistic. Is like if you're in a relationship, you know the struggle of like the strain of moving. It's you fight, but we came out the other side all good, so we're all good. It was a big time in my life, and also at the time, like I was dealing with a lot of pretty severe mental health issues, and I have spoken about that recently, and trigger warning, I will talk about this briefly right now, but like, you know, I was dealing with a lot at the time. You know, the autism stuff was kind of it was happening in the background, but it wasn't like happening as much as it needed to happen, and shit was kind of going wrong with moving was a bit of a big adjustment that I wasn't ready for. I was giving up like, you know, my comfort zone. I was changing my environment willingly, but like that's a big job for anyone neurotypical, let alone someone who's got autism. So it was a big move. My mental health took a nosedive. I had to take a lot of time off work once we did move in to this place because I was so fragile and broken. I hit burnout really bad. And, you know, depressingly, how much do I want to talk about this? I mean, okay, trigger warning. I'm going to mention suicide right here, okay? You have 5 seconds to remove yourself if that's not something you want to hear about. Okay, so I'm gonna be real, right? There was a point in this year with moving, especially in the earlier parts of the year, right? It just kind of hit a wall. The autism stuff was going nowhere. Work was not being supportive of my situation. And I was fighting with the love of my life every day. And nothing seemed to be improving. I felt like I had no one to rely on. And I didn't want to bother my streaming friends because I didn't think that anyone could really help me in that situation. And it kind of hit a head. I was self-harming a lot, and there were a couple very notable occasions where I very much, this is not a fun topic to admit to, very much almost killed myself. And literally, I think the thing that pulled me back in the moment, I remember it so distinctly, was I have a collab Monday. I can't remember what collab it was because I think I've had a few since, but I was like, I have a thing on Monday with streaming. And then I was like, and also I've got that thing on Thursday and I've got next week. And I just couldn't validate doing it because I was like, I've got shit on and I'd be letting people down by not showing up, you know? And then another time I was like, yeah, but who's gonna tell, who's gonna tell them? That was the thing that really kept me up at night, especially during this period of time, was the thing that was like, I need to get my shit sorted so I can actually like make plans if that is something that happens. I'm fortunate to tell you that I've never made those plans because life got better and I don't need to make those plans. But there was a genuine period of my time where I was thinking I'm gonna have to like find a way to, once I go, if I go, the someone can tell my audience, someone can tell my community that I'm not here anymore and that I wouldn't be coming back. And I needed that sort of plan in place. And it wasn't even like from a just from a suicidal point of view. It was also from a point of view of like I was genuinely like considering checking myself in somewhere. I couldn't find any information about that online, so that ended up not happening. But I was genuinely like, if that's like what it inevitably comes to, then that might just be what has to happen. But again, it kind of came down to how do I let my community know that I'm not showing up there for the next couple of weeks? You know, and that was something that kept me up. And in a way, I guess the nice thing about it is that you guys kept me alive. And I mean, obviously, like, I had all the good stuff in the background. Like, I was like, I'd be letting my family down. I'd be letting, I would, massive, like, weight on my shoulders was that we just moved house. I was literally, if I left this earth, I was going to leave Paul with, like, an abundance of responsibility in the wake of my passing, and that he would have to, like, pick up the pieces and support a household on his own. That wasn't something I was willing to do. But I genuinely remember at the times that I got close. And if you've got autism, you'll know that this is a real problem. Like, sometimes it's like impulse control is a really hard thing, especially when you're in one of those states. And so when you get that close, have something that kind of pulls you back in the moment is just enough, and that thing was, I got a collab on Monday. And I don't even remember what it was, but I was like, man, yeah, but like I got shit to do. So yeah, I'm gonna like wrap up this like very hard conversation just to say like it was just important to me that I needed to pull myself together because I had people relying on me. And that was a good thing because it meant that I pulled myself together enough that I got help. And Paul was huge during that time. Paul was massively supporting me during that time. Like, he would sit with me and he would come and find me afterwards and he'd make sure it was okay. And I wouldn't be here without him. But Girl, we can help. Maybe not a lot depending on what it is, but you know we'll be there. But I didn't want you guys to have to like deal with my shit. Much as I didn't want Paul to have to deal with my shit, and I was like, oh man, if I go, then Paul's gonna really have to deal with my shit. And just, I'm sorry. Listen, it's like I think the thing that worried me was that I didn't want to have to admit to you guys that I was struggling because what scared me the most was I was like, I'm gonna have to give one of them my like account details in like I'm gonna have to pass them over to Paul so he can pass them over to one of you in my passing so that you could get into my like Twitch and stuff and you know update what needed updating and stuff and just let people know that you know I wouldn't be coming back. You can lean on us for your friend. It was just early in the year. It was not a good time, but I just feel like I think it's an important thing to kind of address on this stream. You know, happy 2 years and all that. Sorry. Like, happy 2 years. We almost didn't get this far, you know? And that's not something I'm very happy to admit. I'm really happy that I can stand here. Well, I'm saying, I'm very happy that I can sit here and very happy that I can sit here and say that I could say happy 2 years. Because there was a time in my life where I really didn't think I was gonna get to say that. And it's really a great thing that I can. And I am really fucking hopeful that I don't have to go through all this shit again next year. I wouldn't mind. Please, the higher powers that be, can I have a good fucking February to like August, please? Thank you. I would appreciate it. Fucking Christ. Jeez, I'm sorry. Listen, I just didn't want to bother you guys. Appreciate you guys. We're so happy to have you. Thank you. I just, yeah, I think it's just like something I needed to admit and needed to get off my chest. We weren't gonna get this 2-year thing, and I'm glad to say that we did. I'm glad that I persevered enough that we did. I'm glad that impulse control doesn't seem to have as big of a hold on me as I thought it did. So that's nice. But yeah, good times. Yeah, it's not a topic. It's the sort of topic that makes you feel like you want to cry about it, but I'm not crying. I'm like, oh god, this is. I sound so monochrome about it. I'm like, I don't really want to talk about this, but it's more that I'm just trying to like. I don't have the processing power to emotional like. I don't have the emotions right now to process what I want to say in a way that I want to say it. I want it to be more heartfelt. It's just not coming out of me right now because I'm really ill. But I genuinely like. I just want to say thank you. I want to say thank you because the routine of streaming has been more beneficial to my life than I could have asked. It's the one stable thing I've got going, and it's the one thing that kept me going with moving. It was the one thing that kind of kept me going with like work and stuff, is that you know streaming kind of had to happen alongside everything. It was the one thing I consistently had. And yeah, I'm not gonna sit here and lie. There were some days that I really didn't want to get on and stream. But like, you know, I'm glad to say I'm past that now, and I actually look forward to streaming, especially on Thursdays when we play Monster High. I'm like thrilled, and I'm devastated that we're gonna finish that game at some point, and I'm not gonna have that thing to look forward to every week anymore. So, I hope I can find a game to get a special interest in again. But yeah. No, I'm shaking my head. I'm sorry. We're happy to have you. Thank you, thank you. I just didn't want to bother you guys. Well, it might sound mean, but you know, what is the biggest bother? A good friend leaving forever. I know depression wraps you up in a blanket of who cares about me, and I don't want to be a bother, but what is the biggest bother could be an aftermath of internal sleep for those who love to. Yeah, spitting facts. Yeah. How do I explain it? Yeah, I don't think I need to explain it. I think you're saying something right, but I think we can all sit here if you've ever struggled with like suicidal ideation before, like you can probably like read that and go like, yeah, but reaching out is like not something you're really prioritizing at the time. But it is true, is that it would be more of a bother. And it was something that, put me off it, which is a good thing, is that it was going to be more of a bother trying to get. It was less of a bother for me to just kind of keep, muscling through than for me to go somewhere, go away for eternity, right? And then, leave Paul with so much to deal with, like with a funeral and then also supporting a household on his own. It was just not really the kind thing to do in my eyes. But then also, like, it was the thing of like, who's gonna tell everyone? Because he wouldn't. I don't think he would think to do it. I think, and that's fair enough. I'm not like, that's not me slagging him off. I don't think anyone in grief-stricken situation would think to inform like the community of that person that they're not here anymore. I think you guys would just think that I disappeared. And that's okay. Like, I think that that's okay, that's why I kept going. I think that's a good a reason as any. And if you feel like you're worth that much, think of it this way. Funerals are expensive and no one likes going to them, especially when a person you love is the star of the show. Yeah. I mean, depressingly, like, I pulled myself together. Life got better. I got diagnosed with autism, right? Things sort of picked up after a while. And then I had a funeral to go to of someone that I knew not very well, but I cared for. Someone I worked with, and someone that. This sounds like I'm getting depressed about it. This was a while ago. I'm trying to work out what I'm saying. I had to go to a funeral of someone that I knew quite well. Someone who knew my family quite well, but I knew them through work. And this was just after life sort of picked up for the better. Like, I was happier, like, things were getting better. My autism had been acknowledged, and I was getting somewhere with work about it. I don't think I was at the time, but things were getting better. And then I had to go to this funeral, and it was a sort of like, I remember sitting in the audience and feeling like, man, a few weeks ago this could have been me. And I was just glad it wasn't. And I was just glad to be sitting there for a funeral for someone that I cared about, because I could say goodbye to them and if I'd gone, then I wouldn't have been able to. So, yeah. Please bother us. No! I've been there, I know how hard it is, but I'm still saying it. Talk to us. I'm okay now, guys. I really want you to understand this. If you take anything away from this stream, I'm fine. I am fine. I'm perfectly happy at the minute. I had a bit of a wobble on Friday, but like it wasn't anything like terrible. It was just like everything went wrong. And I had my confidence knocked the day before. It was not a good time, but it's work drama, and it's work drama that I can't talk about without potentially giving away more than I should. Net redeem drink, I think I will drink to that. Appropriately timed. That's true, it is hard. It was just not really something I was prioritizing at the time, was getting help. Because I didn't have time. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna have this depression period, and then I've got to go and unpack 5 different boxes. You know, I didn't have time. But I kept myself busy, and eventually it passed, as it does, and it does get better. So I just needed to kind of talk about it because it's like, yeah, we got 2 years, woohoo! But like, we almost didn't, and I think that part of these streams is, yeah, I'm a bit parasocial with it. I'm so sorry, and I do tend to trauma dump, but realistically, I don't think I'd be honest. I don't think I'd be being honest with you guys if I wasn't admitting the fact that like we almost didn't make it, and I think that that's something that I need to acknowledge to be accountable for myself and my actions. But, you know, I think you all know that last year was a hard year, and this year was just as hard. It was just a difference of being around people that cared about me, and Paul was the biggest part of that both times. God, Paul's really got his work out over him, guys. Should pay him more. Oi! He just yelled at me, I should. Because he was there, like, he was the reason, like, I got through Derek passing, like, last year. And then this year he had to put up with all my bullshit depression. Dude, I think he breathed the biggest sigh of relief when the autism came back as when the autism came back as positive. What the fuck? When I came back as having autism, when that came back, he, I think, breathed a big sigh of relief because then I was actually going to get handed over to professionals, which I didn't. I hate to break it to you guys. If you get diagnosed, they're like, oh yeah, your GP will reach out. The GP will not reach out. You have to reach out to the GP if you live in my area. I have not reached out to the GP because realistically, main reason I got diagnosed with autism, partially to stop feeling like a phony about it, but also because work was not helping my situation and I needed a diagnosis to get the support I needed for that. Things like risk assessments, get reasonable adjustments made. Was entitled to them already, but they didn't know that, so got the autism diagnosis, and I'm taking it a bit more seriously now, which is nice. My boss said she was proud of me the other day, which is cool. Guys, let's make a pact. If Jasper keeps not wanting to bother us with her problems, we're gonna come over and bite her. Kinky? But like, good. Ignore the fucking throne wish list message. There is nothing on there. God damn it, it always comes in at really inappropriate times. Going to get the bong stick. Ooh. Ooh. Glad you're better now. You deserve some extended good time after all that. Dude, I fucking hope so. Dude, like, I'm happy right now. I'm like deep in my special interest at the minute. I've got a week off work now. Right now, I'm on my week holiday right now, right this second. It's great. And then I'm back to work for 2 weeks, and then I'm off again, and then I'm going away. I'm going on holiday. Sounds exciting, but I'm only going to Wales. Going to come over for a welfare check, please do. We will do we'll conduct the welfare check at the pub. Potentially, I just think it would be the best atmosphere for that. We can get a couple drinks, have a chat, and it'll be all good. I'm down for that. Go for a welfare chat, Mina. We'll go to the pub. Well, that sounds like I've got a drinking problem. It's just more of a like, when in Rome, when you meet up with friends from the internet, you go to the pub. I'm stressing because I'm not gonna talk about it, but can't go to the pub. Hello.
Do you have a drink?
I don't have a drinking problem, thank you. You gonna come in and say hi? I'm gonna say hi for my 2-year anniversary.
Hi.
I like how you wave. They cannot see you at all. I think my camera's freaking out a bit though, because
Probably taking.
Wait, come here and see if it will pick you up. Put your face. Lean down. Done.
No,
No.
no.
No, no, in my chat. Oh my god, they're all calling you daddy. No!
Hi.
No! Guys, you're giving him a big head. Don't take that out of context. Don't look at me like that. No, Mina. I love everyone in chat's like, hello, Paul. That. We both heard that. Dude, there was a bang above us then. Is it a tree outside, maybe? That was really hard. Something hit the roof upstairs. That was weird. Guys, you're giving... I think something's fallen down in the bathroom. Guys, you're giving him a big head. I thought that was your job.
That is your job.
I'm so glad these streams are 18+. You're a dick.
They're happy now, Daddy's been
God damn it. I love Paul, me too. I love it, running shit. Being like all over Paul. Dude, a year ago I still don't think I told you guys about Paul. Guys, I hate to break to you. Paul came into the stream while I was on my 1 year anniversary last year. I said that my friend had come round. I think I did mention that my friend had come to visit. And they were just like in the background coughing. That was Paul, people. Like, and he didn't come round to visit. He was staying the night, but he came round on my 1 year anniversary. And he was in the background, but you guys didn't know I was seeing him at the time, so I didn't say anything. But that's a little Easter egg. If you well, no, I wouldn't recommend going back to that stream. But like, if you were to go back to that stream, you could probably hear him rustling around in the background because he was a noisy bugger. Ugh. I'm dying. I think only a select few knew about Paul back then. I think actually, Mina, you were the only one that knew about Paul. Oh. Hope you feel special about that. I mean, I think, to be honest, I think I'd mentioned to Mimi and all that I had a boyfriend. I just hadn't specified who it was. I feel so privileged. You're welcome. You know, I think at the time you were the only person I told. Not 100% sure on that, but I'm pretty damn sure. I don't think it was a surprise by any measure of the word. I think a lot of people in chat, because I got messages about it. People were like, I was like, Paul's my boyfriend. And people were like, well, yeah, you don't just live with a bloke. It's like, yeah, but there was a reason I was keeping it secret. And that was the thing with telling you guys about it. I don't think people quite cottoned on to that. Was that the reason I hadn't told you guys that I was seeing Paul was because we had children. And that was literally it. There wasn't any shame in like having a boyfriend or anything. It was more just that we had to kind of approach the streams with like a level of cautionary, and it was, you guys were only going to be told when it was going to become a bit of a problem with streams. And I will say, despite the fact that yes, I've got this next week off, and yes, there are several collabs that are happening on random days, so you guys will have to keep an eye on the Discord if you want to watch those. But there are collabs happening this week. I am not 100% sure when the kids are here this week, because if you didn't know, in the UK it's half term, which means they're on holiday, which means that they're gonna be here at some times of the week. I know they're here Halloween, so yeah, that shouldn't be a problem. We've got plans. Anyway, I feel like this stream has been like really like downer. I'm really sorry. I just don't really know what to talk about. I just don't really know what to talk about. I just don't, because like it's like, what do you say? Like, yeah, 2 years, cool. I don't have anything prepared, and I got sick, so I didn't get to like prepare anything exciting. And I'm not gonna go through the fucking PowerPoint again this year. Thank you. I'm good. Not gonna do that again. That was a pain in the ass last year. I'm also like fiddling with shit in the background. I'm so sorry. It was fun. No, it was not fucking fun. I don't think anyone wants to sit in here while I go through a PowerPoint presentation again for the 3rd year in a row. I liked how you were talking about the darkest part of your life until things got better while I was breaking bones and exploiting people in Fallout 4. Hey, listen. No, like, that's a good thing to, like, be doing right now. That's a good transition, actually. Talk about the next year of streaming, because, surprise, surprise! We're still gonna be doing streaming. We're still streaming for a year. We're streaming for the foreseeable future now. I don't have any plans to stop anymore. But, what do we have to look forward to for the next year? Well, there's a couple things. I don't know when the PC is gonna happen. It's been put on the back burner because, money got really tight recently. It's fine, but like, I've got a plan in place for the PC. I just need to cement it when I've got a bit more stable finances, and then once I've got stable finances again, then we will see about dealing with the PC. But I'll be buying it in parts now. I'm not gonna do the like maker thing that I was planning on doing, just because it's just easier and cheaper, and just overall just gonna save me money in the long run. I don't have the funds to buy a computer outright anymore. I do, but like I'm not going to. It would be cheaper and easier for me to buy bits individually. So that's what's going to happen. But that means it's going to take some time. So bear with me on that. So the VC is hopefully going to happen in the next year. No promises, but I am working on it. The next thing is what is coming for the next year. So I've got plans. I've always got plans. I got plans for streaming. One of the big things I kind of have alluded to, I don't know how much I've talked about it, because I talk about shit and then I don't realize I've talked about it and then I forget about it. I will be getting a secondary webcam. No, I won't be doing a fucking face reveal, sorry. Not intentionally, anyway. But we will be doing handcam stuff at some point in the new year. I don't know quite when we're gonna do it. Probably looking at once I've sorted out my entire collection of Monster High dolls. We will be going on to handcam stuff. This will be relevant at the time. I think I have mentioned it, actually, come to think of it. But we'll be doing handcam stuff. I'm not 100% sure what I'll plan on doing first. We might do some artwork. We might do some other crafts and stuff. I plan to do some crafting series. Not massive stuff, but like little things that maybe you guys can enjoy and join in on when you want. So that's the plan for the new year. Ideally, I'd like to also at some point in the new year, but it's unlikely, but it's there, is I'd like to start getting the crowdfunding started for the drawing monitor so we can start doing more art stuff, because that's something that's highly requested on these streams, is that people want to see more art stuff based on me, art based stuff from me. And that is something I really want to do, but it's just finding the like right tools to do it with, because my Wacom tablet is not. I finally admitted to myself that I don't have the hand-eye coordination necessary for it, because you know, I'm one of those people that like, and this is an autism thing, like I have to look at my feet when I'm walking so I know where I'm going because I can't process like stuff like that without seeing it. So trying to draw on a tablet while looking at a screen is just not something I can do very well. It takes a lot longer than it should in order for me to do it. I can do it, it just takes too long. And that won't be entertaining for you guys. So be looking into getting a monitor, drawing monitor for streaming next year. I will get back to you guys on that though. But the webcam stuff will happen first. That will be happening at some point in the next, at the end of the year towards early New Year. I hope. Fingers crossed. So that's something you guys have to look forward to. Gaming wise, obviously we've got to finish Portal, and I would like to finish Poppy Playtime at some point. I'd like to play the next installments of the game. I don't think we're going to get to do it this week. I've got too much on. Whether or not I do that in November is another question entirely. We might. It depends how much time I have in the run up to Christmas, because obviously we've got Christmas stuff coming up as well. That's new stuff. Do we have anything else to talk about? Obviously we'll get some new emotes at some point. I've got some art stuff planned as well. Not from me. But I'm not in a position to talk about it right now because my brain is so fried. I have ideas, but like there will be some artwork made at some point and commissioned and stuff. And I plan to do that. Goal wise, what goals do I have? Obviously, we're at 158, I think, right now. I'm turning that off in a minute. I was gonna turn it off, but I left it on. Right. Happy Jasper. I will make it very quick and very shitty. Oh, shit. Who the fuck is texting me right now? Cool. Make it very quick and very shitty. Oh, I don't think this is gonna work. Hang on. There we go. Oh. Oh no, I have to plug in my fucking tablet. Fucking fuck me over here, Leighton. I don't have time for this. Who the fuck is texting me? I don't care. Oh, my fucking family chat. I'm busy. Me, man, punches a bandit, caving his face in. Poor Jasper breaks someone's spine. Yeah, I can imagine it must have been hard. Grenades are muted. Glad you got better though. Explosion bits, Jamie. Happy to always know she'll be here tomorrow. Thanks. Oh my god. A chaotic adventure. Why not? Do I do the autism creature? Wait, should I do that? It's like the yippee. I feel like that's a good happy image, right? Probably offensive in some way, but I think it's like cute. We'll do it very. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Oh no, I can't do that. Oh no, I can't do that. God, this is fucking awful. I'm not a confident drawer with this at all. Looks terrible. Yeah, so what have I got planned? So yeah, I've got some art stuff planned eventually. It is a goal of mine to get that. What it's for, I don't know. Probably nothing. I mean, we got a logo now, so that was something that I wasn't expecting to have done this year. That's pretty exciting. I'm pretty hyped about that. Cool. And then horrible. I don't think this is how you draw it at all. Yeah, I didn't really know anything else other than that because I did a lot of stuff that I was planning on doing this year anyway. So this doesn't look very excited, but we'll get the idea. We'll draw little wings. My calibration will go off. Guys, this looks like a memorial image. I'm not gonna lie. Good to have a logo. Yeah, I'm really hyped about the logo. The logo was something I was really proud of, so. To do one of these. And this looks horrifying. My headphones are getting interference from my phone as well, so this is just sounding, I'm just getting buzzing in my ear. It's awful. Oh, that wasn't what I meant to do. But I did it all as one line. For fuck's sake, can you move over? This is what I mean by the coordination thing. It's just not there. And yet, I know people are like, oh, you can get better with practice. I've been practicing for so many years with this, and it's just not happened. I'm not holding my breath anymore. This hurts. We'll do. Magnificent. Biblically accurate, Jasper! I know, it's great. Adorable, thank you. Glad you like it. Sorry, it's not quite what you had in mind, is it? We'll just do loads of... This is not how I meant for this. everyone ready for Halloween though? Has everyone got their costumes and stuff? I've got to go and get my costume from my parents at some point because I realized that I left it when I moved, but my costume is this vampire dress that I got when I was like 9, and I know for a fact it still fits me, so I'm gonna go get that and I'm gonna wear that because I have not had the brain power to think about anything other than sleep at the minute. Why does this not look like confetti? What am I missing here? Yippee! Oh, I just said happy Jasper. I didn't give anything. Yeah, but he doesn't look very happy, does it? Adorable me like, yes, yes, thank you, thank you. Good, good, good. I might do little like blush on it. Just give it a little blush, just to give it a bit of a something. I like it. Okay. I don't want to do some stars or something, but. Okay. Cool. Hope you're happy with that one. Anyway, with that, guys, I'm probably gonna wrap up stream here. I don't think I've got really anything else to talk about. I feel really bad because all I talked about was like a depression, but like, hey, I think it's good to be honest about these things for your guys' sake, just to know where I am and where I have been, and just to know that things are good now. I'm fine. I have a wobble. Everyone has a wobble. And I'm not going to sit here and lie and say that it'll never happen again. Because let's face it, life happens. Shit goes wrong. And, it might have been the hardest part of my life. But, like, it's probably not going to be the hardest part of my life, if that makes sense. Something else will probably happen. But, hopefully, still have the resolve that kept me going before. And we'll be all good. I have a support system now, so I imagine that it'll be more picked up on if something like that happens again. It was picked up on last time, it just no one really knew what was going on, so. Anyway. The hardest part of your life will probably be poor. No! That's not safe for work! You're happy on the inside, yeah. Happy on the inside. Autism creature. I'm always happy. I am so happy these days. I just want you guys to know that, like, life is really good at the minute. I'm really, really happy. I've got so much good going on now, and yeah, I've had a bit of a wobble on Friday, but I recovered very quickly because things have been so good recently, and I'm like, yeah, but I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna do shit. I'm gonna go and enjoy, like, setting up my Monster High dolls. I'm gonna go and restore some of them. I'm gonna go and stream my favorite game. I'm gonna go and talk to people. Like, I have things to look forward to now, and that's what's, like, so wonderful about streaming and stuff, is that I have things to look forward to, and I have things to talk to you guys about. Me looking forward to. I'm so sorry that I'm so sick at the minute, but yes. Also, welcome, Mona. Good to see you. Good to see you. He means penis, by the way. Who? Right. Anyway, with that, guys, I will be wrapping the stream up here. I don't think Sicko, fuck off. Thanks, Mina. Yeah, I don't think I've got anything else to say. Again, I'm sorry that the VODs haven't been uploaded. As you can hear from my lovely voice, I am a bit crunchy feeling right now, so it's not had time to get anything dealt with. They have been uploaded, they have been stored, so they will be available when they're available, is just the short answer to that. I'm working on it, so please excuse, but they will go up at some point. I'm trying not to leave it so long that I get overwhelmed by it, but I've got a week off now, so we should be okay. Bye, Jasper. Good evening. Thank you. Bye. Thank you for hanging out with me, guys. Yeah, I don't think I've got anything else to add. I had something else to add, and I can't remember what it was. Oh yeah. I don't know what's happening tomorrow. There is a stream tomorrow. I just don't know the timing. Give me 2 seconds. Let me just look. Let me look. See. Give it a look. See. Okay. Tomorrow, stream won't happen till 2:30. That's GMT, by the way, for anyone not in the know. I will probably more confirm it at the time tomorrow, so you can find out for your time zone. But hope all goes well tomorrow. Yes, indeed. We should have a thing tomorrow. So it is a collab. So she's got shit on. So please excuse that tomorrow won't happen quite at the usual time. But it will happen, and if my thing tomorrow gets cancelled, which it might, I don't think it will though, but if it does, I will probably just end up playing Monster High. It'll just be later in the day. I've got a plan, it's fine. But yeah, so bear with. Anyway, thank you very much for joining me today, guys. Oh shit, I forgot I have a raid, got a dash now, good timing then. Yes, indeed. Net redeem drink, let me thank you now, I will drink to that. Thank you very much for joining me today, guys. Thank you very much for 2 years. I'm so sorry that this 2-year anniversary stream was just me being sad, but it's not a JasperWackx stream without me being a bit sad, but yeah. Thank you very much for doing me. I'm very sorry about today's stream, but thank you very much. I hope to get all that stuff done in the next couple weeks. And yeah, thank you very much for 2 years. I wouldn't be here without you guys. Quite literally. And I just want to say a huge thank you for that. Because it means a lot. And you guys mean a lot to me. And without you guys, I wouldn't have my amazing friends. And I wouldn't be able to say that I'm happy at the minute. But thank you. Say thank you. See you in a year. Well, I'll see you tomorrow, but I'll see you in a year. Bye, guys. Bye.